All right, Ty. Welcome everybody to the FX Evolution live stream. Obviously, quick risk warning. It's important to understand that any information contained in this live video today is purely going to be for educational purposes, and the information presented must be considered only general in nature. The information provided does not take your specific needs or circumstances into consideration, and you must seek independent financial advice if necessary. So, Tyrone, let's move over here to the other screen. Let's just quickly say hello to everybody. Welcome everyone in the private community. This is the live stream, obviously FX Evolution's live Wednesday. I'm going to call it the Wednesday live hangout nowadays, Ty. We do it every week. Did you change?
Yes.
we just did another one, and he's gone. Look at him. Look what he's done, guys. He's gone into some kind of like from professional into non-professional instantly.
Once it clicks over 9 p.m. in Ocean Grove, it turns into a party. So it takes for a definite change of clothes, and we are fresh and ready to go. So let's go.
I couldn't help myself there. I was like, whoa, what just happened? Because I was on the stream literally 3 minutes ago, and then we switch over to here. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. Obviously, we're going to go through the indices. We'll go through the crypto space. We'll go through the Forex. We'll do what we usually like to do, which is punch out as much as possible. The market's starting off here a little green after some little red, and basically they're coming in almost flat in normal terms, but we will check those out. So we've got here the SPY. You'll notice pre-market 432.45, SPY 433.62, SPX 43.50 currently trading about 43.59. So marginally up, but it was down more before. We'll talk about that and other things. So Ty, I think the best place for us to start, we'll get into the currency straight away. Let's get into this dollar index and talk about what it's doing, because it's frustrating some people, I'm sure.
Yep, it shouldn't be. We need to bring it up because we've got our faces still on the full screen.
Oh yeah. It's moving. There we go.
All right, here we go.
Ready.
All right. Welcome everyone again. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, I did have that was live. We're getting some questions. Was that really live? Because I was only wearing a jumper, guys. It was live. Okay.
Are they trying to figure out whether it was all fake? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was live. We were taking live questions.
You should tell by my response. That's why I was like, what the hell?
All right, guys. Dollar index is still an interesting one. People are getting frustrated by it, and I don't know why, because it's not doing anything that we wouldn't expect. Are you frustrated because it's not breaking through, or is it just not going fast enough for you? Is that what the frustration is?
Yes, I'm pissed off. It
you
needs to go
chill
faster,
out, guys.
Chill out. That's we're all feeling angry about this, Ty. You know, it's coming up with a series of high lows. Good news.
It's an ascending triangle, guys. It's awesome. Let it do its thing. Give it time. And don't trade it till it breaks. My advice is not to trade it till it breaks. I'm waiting for the serious break, because when it goes past 94.50 and really closes above there, you know, it's got 200 odd points. It's going to 97.50 more than likely. So really, there's plenty of room. There's no need to get antsy about it now. Trade the euro. I mean, the euro's screwed. You can see that. I mean, it's dying to get into the 114s. And that's the consequence of this, slowly but surely going up. And realistically, we will look at the euro in a second, but you got to be a little bit patient. I think that what you probably don't want to see, I would rather see this action, because realistically, this is more sustained and it's more considered, right? That's the important key here. Like, it's no point having a candle that blasts through in a week and then comes straight back down again and leaves you in the middle of nowhere. I would much rather this considered move up, because that way, when it does break, if it does break, it's been a move that's been considered over several weeks, and that tells me that it's actually more sustainable. And I think that's really more important, especially when we're going for the longer term targets. So my advice here is to exercise patience and just let the market lead the way.
It's hard, isn't it, guys? Patience.
It's hard. It is hard. I know it's hard, but this is the number one rule in trading. Patience.
That's trading.
It's the number one rule.
I said this to the mentor, some people in the mentoring group for October this week. By the way, mentoring for November is open, but spots are filling quick. If you're interested, jump on over to fxevolution.com, because I'm telling you, there is some good stuff that we're releasing in that. And I mean, it's going to be really good. But what I said there is, I said the reality sometimes in trading is it can be boring, guys. You've got to be a patient beaver. You've got to wait. And here we have the long leg doji tie on the weekly. And if we make a closure above, as I like to say, decision made. And that will be fantastic. But look, in all seriousness, the smaller time frames are looking okay as well. We'll move over here to your favorite, the old euro US dollar. So let's walk through this very similar types of scenario. Let's have a look at the 2 hour here and think about whether it's actually done a little bit different. So while it has been making a series of kind of lower highs here and lower lows, it actually broke through, came up a little bit. Wasn't 3 touches, was only 2. So talk us through this one, Ty. What are your thoughts here?
Well, yeah, the patterns have been playing out really nicely on it. Look, it's trying really, really hard to find, support at this level. But how can you long it? I mean, yeah, realistically, it's got so much work to do before this goes long, especially on a 4 hour or a daily chart. I would not go long on this under any circumstances until we have a lightning bolt on a 4 hour chart at the very, very least. Not a 1 hour chart, not a 15-minute chart. It must be a 4 hour chart or higher, because that is the only thing that's going to stop the rut of the euro fall. It wants to go lower, and you can find as many patterns as you want that it's going to reverse from here. I will not be convinced until it does it. This is one of those ones where you do not want to be picking the bottom, okay? Because it's got a predetermined level that it wants to get to, and it's going to take a substantial change of trend on a reasonable time frame to convince me that it's going to actually even correct to a decent level on the way up. So be really, really cautious of this one. Take every short available, but be very, very careful on the longs is my advice to you until you actually get some real market proof. This is one of those ones where you really want that proof.
Yeah, you want to see proof. You want to see that it's this kind of thing here, pulls back, breaks through, creates the lightning bolt, gets through that 115, 90, 116 zone, and then you've gotten through also that previous resistance. From the short side, you're looking at people trying to short it back off this resistance. That's probably going to be one of the scenarios. Or, of course, the DXY getting weaker, because the DXY getting weaker will be a big discussion point. Let's move through a couple of others. Someone mentioned New Zealand yen before. Let's take a look at the New Zealand yen. And yes, it has been pretty solid, actually. Nice base formation here on the 4 hour. Solid kind of like breakout of this zone as well. If you're looking at it, hits the resistance, slams straight past it, and some solid buying off that resistance becomes support, roll reversal. So stuck in a little bit of a range. Go to the 2 hour chart. Currently hugging that 20 moving average.
Doing all the right things, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think it's been very technical. Yeah, very technical. US dollar yen as well has been pretty damn strong. This is what's really powering all the yen pairs. I mean, this has been a phenomenal bullish breakout. We saw it break this 110 here on the webinar. We talked about it. We knew it was significant, especially into those highs, that 111 high, and it's hit the 111 high, pulled back, broken through, and it's rallying like a champ. I mean, that is strength, strength, strength. It's so strong that it's using a 1 hour kind of 20 at the moment. It's very strong trend at this stage.
But surely everybody got this, right? Like everyone in this room must have got this. We've been talking about
must got some of it, yeah.
Surely got some of it. I hope so. I'd be disappointed if you didn't, because it's been pretty easy trading ever since it broke that 112. Like we said, we've been talking about these levels for quite a while, so I sincerely hope you've been able to take part of it. Goodness.
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. This has been a very, very big breakout. That 110 was such a huge level, and since then it's been all bull. And that's what we talk about. We enter what we call a participation phase. We wait, we be patient, we be boring, and when it enters, we go bam, okay, let's bring our scalps in, let's bring our day trades in, let's bring our swing trades in, and we will have bias towards that side based on solid technical reasons. Very strong stuff. Any other currencies that you're looking at the moment, Ty, that you've liked recently? I mean, all the yens. What about the old pound? I mean, pound's kind of been strong.
Brad said he's been there since the double bottom that we saw in the Q&A a few weeks ago. Is that true, Brad? Far out, man. That's good trading. Very, very, very patient panda hands there. Goodness. Can we use your term? Can we use your term for what do you? What's that
panda
term you
hands?
Use for holding forever?
Diamond hands. That's not my term, but yeah,
he's diamond handed the US dollar yen. Yes.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
love it.
It used to be glorious positive swap. I remember those days.
It
I'm
did
not
in
sure
the
if it is
day.
anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, there's so much positive swap it used to be.
No.
This is an interesting one as well. Euro odd. So at the moment, strong downtrend, no doubt. Currently weakening, but imagine the inverse head and shoulders plays out. What I'm saying here is you've got a very good resistance, and that very good resistance, if breaks through, can be the end of that downtrend and the beginning of a nice uptrend. And I'll take the distance here. Let me check this out for a second. Look at that. I'm not huge on Tyrone and I are not big on countering very often, but it's just that would be a fairly significant little breakout here. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah.
Should it occur?
It should it occur. I think it's got some work to do. But this is one of those ones I wouldn't be preempting. This would be
no. At the moment, it looks like this.
Yeah, I'd be going for a conservative entry on this one. I wouldn't be taking even the standard, to be honest. Wait for a conservative entry, let it break the neckline first, and then come back and test it from above. You got good ground to go. If it does that, you got very good upside regardless. So you wait for the lightning bolt, and off we go.
And the reason we can say this is because we have this downward trend line. We'd be repairing from that point. Ty's talking about the conservative entry here, and then we go into the 200 1 hour. It's just the potential. Remember, it's chess. We're thinking steps ahead when it comes to trading. We're thinking steps ahead when it comes to opportunity. Other stuff, I'm just looking through these right now, and I guess for me, it's all been about these yens. I mean, you can see all the yens; they're crazy. The other pairs have either been choppy or they've been lackluster. So, yeah, I would say that the best pairs at the moment have really been consistently the yens, and I think they're continuing to show that they're where the money's at this stage. Any other thoughts, Ty? I've just gone through a bunch of these, and I'm not seeing much.
Yeah,
I got better stuff on the stocks.
Murray says that the Aussie New Zealand has a nice flag playing up.
I'll check it out. Odd New Zealand. Let's take a look.
Murray, have you been missing for a while? I haven't seen you in. Have you taken off on us and come back? Have you been on holidays or something?
Yeah, I see the thing he's talking about. So basically, you've got here.
Yep.
He's taking the length.
I see.
And that length is there. And then he's looked for. Well, you might want to take it from the breakout. I guess probably the more solid way of looking at the technical. Yeah, pretty much hit though.
Yeah,
good trade. Obviously played out to the T, but I feel like that's kind of done it now. How about gold? Which USDX on support gold? Yeah, the problem with gold is Tyron and I, look, I brought up the stats for you guys. I had them in the last webinar anyway. Let me just bring this in. So these are the actual stats for the November-December period. Historically stronger than the October period. And yeah, overall much better. But December is the one that we're looking at because Tyron correctly analyzed this. We go to the daily, and what we're looking for here is the December strength. So if we look through December of last year, let's go first to December. Look what happens. Strength, all of December. We go to December in 19, strength. We go to December in other years, strength. It's pretty much consistently showing that November. Look at December, strength. So it's been very, very strong there. And that's where we're going to try to bring seasonality across with our technical analysis. And if we get bullish signs from technicals and we've got our very strong seasonal point, here's the November into December strength. Look at that. Look at that December strength. That's what we're looking for gold. And at this stage, when I look at this, I'm just looking at a chart that it wants to maybe go bullish right now. But God, I mean, get through 1780 maybe.
Yeah, I'd be happy enough for it to hover between that sort of 1750 and 1800 for the rest of the 6-week period leading up to December. To be quite honest,
greedy.
I know it's a bit greedy, and it's wanting on a yo-yo, but it could happen. I mean, this is a very strong zone for it. Anywhere in that high 17s to low 18s is very, very strong for gold. We know this historically, so it wouldn't surprise me to see it play out that way for the next 6 weeks. Maybe scalping between those ranges. And then look for the breakout up after that. Like I'd love to see a break of a serious resistance zone at around that first week of December. I mean, that's almost a given that you've got to go long, isn't it? You almost have to.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be one of the ones that we're certainly watching. The other one that we have here, we've got a chat coming in for odd INR. So let's take a quick look at that. Do we even have it here? Odd Indian rupee. Yeah, that's a good breakout. There's the downtrend we had. We must have done this analysis before. Base. Oh, beautiful candles. Beautiful candles on the daily. rejection and a strong rejection again, showing that ramp.
Candles we talk about all the time. Yeah.
And then boom. Oh, it's very good. Yeah.
Decision
I
made.
don't look at this, but yeah, decision made. Yeah. Probably completed too, but a double bottom coming into it also. A double bottom with another big that's like a stock quality. That's a stock quality kind of setup as well. You see that? I put the picture in my mind.
Yeah.
I love that setup. I love it.
Craig says that gold seasonality on Traderlytics is good reference to look at. I agree. Craig, my favorite is the Thai analytics. I think Thai analytics work very well for me.
Made up, guys.
What
what is there? What's the Thai analytics?
The Thai analytics, my own research. That's what I call Thai analytics. But no, I agree. And look, and Craig, what I really encourage people to do is, if you do have an idea and you have a belief that something might actually be happening, get into that robot, get into the Traderlytics, and actually check it out. See if Traderlytics has actually already done the work for you. Because a lot of the times you'll find what you're thinking about may have already been done and researched. And if it is, then it's just verifying and basically, doing all the work for you. So definitely, if you come up with a bit of an idea of what you think may or may not be happening, definitely check it out because Traderlytics, a lot of the time, something has already probably been thought out and put into an EA or a robot. And even if you haven't, they should have a suggestion box. Actually, we should talk. Thomas is personal friends with Traderlytics man who created it. Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, I've talked to him. Yeah. Oh, he has plenty of new things that are coming. There's actually a few new ads that I'll put in the room soon. So there's a new tracker of socials. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's coming in. But if you ever need to use it, just remember manual request data and then select the thing that you want to do. And if you need help, you can just use the pin messages. And you'll notice that I put in a whole bunch of stuff. I also made a video about how to request it. So if you're not using the tool in the private community, make sure you do. It's pretty damn fantastic. So people, Thai are demanding. They're demanding, Thai, that we talk about these indices. And I can see why, because the market looks like it's ramping at the moment back up. And yesterday's close was actually a little bit negative. And then all of a sudden, so it went underneath 43.60. It then sold off further after the market close, because remember, this is not actually the market close. Here's US 500 futures, and now it's rallied back up. So let's give our thoughts here to what we're seeing. I mean, obviously we're ahead of massive news. So if we talk about CPI data, which is coming out relatively soon, 8:30 a.m. New York time, and then we've got the FMC meeting minutes, and then we've got the PPI, and then we've got the core retail sales. So what are your thoughts here?
I think everyone just needs to take a freaking chill pill. Because this thing is still undecided. And I would not be preempting the long or the short on this until we get some market action. All this is doing in my mind is consolidating in a zone that is quite comfortable. So I would be thinking that if it gets up to that 20 moving average, I'd be looking for potential shorts. If it breaks up past that 20 and 50 moving average, then I'm going to be convinced that we're probably going to go. We might have seen the last bit of the pullback, and then we might be heading back up to the 4,500. So let the market play the game here. This is not a place to be impatient, especially before earnings season. Goodness.
Yeah, so we are before earnings season, and I guess some people will, be judging that one or two ways. Maybe the earnings will be fantastic, maybe it'll be poor, and things will get worse. You're usually going with the market with optimism, and I think for us, like 4,400 and that 4,430 is going to be the key level. I actually don't even like looking at the fake market futures here, Ty. Let me just get out of those. Let's get rid of those fake market futures for a second. We'll use the SPX, and this gives us a really clear idea. Now, if I was coming into most stocks, most cryptos, most really of anything, currencies, etc., and I saw these types of charts, I mean, traditionally that's been weakness, and I would usually always go with weakness. I don't see a reason. Now, if it smashes me and it goes through, well, of course I'm going to reverse and go bullish. But damn, that looks weak to me, Ty. Your
I'm going to give. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give a Thaialytics tip of the day.
Sure.
I'm going to give a Thaialytics tip of the day every Wednesday. Remind me. Today's Thaialytics tip of the day is when you first analyze a chart. Okay, forget about the label. Like, don't look at that as an SPX. Don't look at that as the S&P 500. Okay, look at it as a chart and say, what is that price action trying to tell you? Don't look at it like, okay, the S&P is going into earnings season. I think we're going to go long from here because it's going to have a good earnings season. Straight away, you're allowing bias to actually dictate what your chart is trying to tell you, right? So first things first, I look at that chart right now, and I'm not going to lie, that does not look in any way, shape, or form bullish to me, right? And if it looks bullish to you, I'd like you to send me an email and tell me why, because it doesn't look bullish, right? There's no way it looks bullish. Is it particularly bearish? Well, not really. It needs to, at the moment for me, this is undecided. It's trying to work out at the moment whether it's actually going to reverse from here or whether it's going to push lower. But in no way, shape, or form does that look like a bullish chart. Okay, it looks more bearish than bullish, but I don't think it's totally bearish because it's gone up to a reasonable level. But for all intents and purposes, that's going short, right? And if you didn't have the SPX next to it, and Tom just put that up and said, what do you think of this chart? I'm going to say, well, it looks down to me, right? Regardless of whether it's October, regardless of whether it's going into a Christmas rally, whatever. So my tip is to try and put your bias aside. And the best way to do that is to actually ignore the symbol. And I know that's difficult. It's easy to say because you've already seen it after the fact, but just try and look at it on the basis that you've got buyers and you've got sellers and you've got Thomas on full screen. I'm not sure why. Okay.
I was trying to put you on full screen.
Right, okay. So yeah, so that's the Tiolytics tip of the day. Just try and put the symbol away and look for the chart and see what it's trying to tell you and make the assessment on that, and then try and allow a little bit of logic application once you've done your initial. It's a little bit like when we say put your indicators away for a minute and just look at the chart, look at the price action, look at the buyers and the sellers in the candles, and then start applying like basically indicators after that, so you don't get persuaded by or even seduced by what the indicators are telling you. That's probably the tip. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I hope it does to them, because very important.
It's really important.
Factor.
I hope it makes sense, because it's really important.
In some ways, ignoring what the chart is very important. That being said, you should always look at quality still. And if you're looking at a technical that looks beautiful on a stock that's worth $10 million, then you might want to rethink that stock.
yeah.
But a chart is a chart still, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, start from the bottom. Like sometimes you got to start from the bottom up and look what the price action is trying to tell you, because price action is going to tell you more than some fundamental report or earning. I can tell you that.
This is what I like to call Chop City in here. It's Chop City. We're chopping around.
Draw a fence, Tom. Draw a fence.
That is a fence. It's a fence right in the middle. Well, no, where the fence is trying to hold up here for the Bulls and the Bears is underneath this 4,300, because this is really the fight zone. There's a fight here and there's a huge fight here, and these two fights are massive. And I wrote it before. This is where the Bulls they kick ass and they're stampeding. And if the Bears are still hungry for salmon, they're trying to push it underneath here. And everything in here is kind of like the guessing game. It's more of the Chop City. So you want to be fast, nimble, and quick in terms of your trades and your concepts. But we've got 2050 cross. That's a fact. We have a bunch of rejection candles here on the daily. Okay. Looks relatively weak. I would say it's like a 60-40 from the weakness side. And then if you look at the weekly, you could make a case for the bull side here, just from the perspective of you haven't seen it confirm yet, but you have seen strong buying 3 times over. So as Tyron mentioned, we've got to take the chill pill. We're going to wait for some of this data to come out. It's going to give us the decision. And a lot of people say, well, I need to have the bottom. Ty, look at this pickup. I bet you could go and talk to any hedge fund manager, and most of them throughout a lot of this area here were not buying correctly because they were scared, absolutely scared.
Terrified.
Absolutely terrified. Then we get this consolidation and they went big bull. They went even more psycho. And this is where they manipulated it down to get their entries in. And they've just been stacking since then. But specifically, these were the entry points where I believe, and I know for pretty good knowledge, that a lot of them were buying these points and they actually missed the low. In fact, the retail trader actually got the low the best because they bought the dip, but not maybe a bit like randomly they were buying the dip, but certainly that was not necessarily where the big guys were getting in heavily.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. It's you don't have to get the entire move. You've just got to get the meat. It's a little bit like, you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. You know, when you go to a really, really good steak, when you go to a really good steak restaurant, right? And it's got like, you get a really nice big, piece of steak, and it's got like a lot of sort of, fat around it. Yeah, you don't have to eat the fat, right? You can just eat, you just want the meat. You can just cut around it and get the good part, even the bacon, get the good part of bacon at breakfast. You don't have to eat all of the fatty bits. And it's the same in trading. I know, as silly as that sounds, you don't have to eat the whole lot. You only want the quality. So in the move, you only want to try and get the part that is going to taste the best, the part that's going to work out, in other words, right? So let the start of the move work out. Okay, let the momentum kick into the favor that you want it to do. Let all of the amateurs take all the hits for you, in other words, right? Let all of the people who don't really know what they're doing take all of the whipsaws and let the market find its momentum, find its feet, and then you jump in when the market's actually cruising. Take the easy money and then get out in the same fashion. You don't have to ride it all the way to Texas, right? You basically just take the good, sensible profit and get out. And if it keeps going after that, don't stress about it. Don't try and jump in again. It's really, really important. I can't stress enough. It's not a tie tip, but I've really got to stress it. A lot of people try to be absolutely pip perfect or cent perfect when they're trying to trade by picking the exact zone and trying to be a little bit too cute. Not because you're trying to be cute, but you're trying to be the most efficient possible. But the market just doesn't work that way. The market needs a little bit of room. So you want to give it that room. Take the sensible part of the move, the part that makes the most amount of sense, and it'll go a long way to getting you out of a lot of trouble.
And here's one of those cases again, US 100. A lot of people are messaging me about this one today, and they're like, oh, it's up 0.87% in the futures. Yeah, look, it's putting on a bit of what it lost during the past session. And I think the thing here is, if you like the stocks and you're investing in them, then there are relevant cases for why this Nasdaq is around this low. We've talked about the ascending channel, etc. However, what Ty and I are talking about here is, if we see that 15,000 cracked, there's very little case to be made for the bears anymore. And that's when, participation really hits its key level. And that's when a lot of bigger traders come in and they start ramping it, or at least they start really acquiring higher positions, because you have more information than you currently have now. Here we've got the double rejection, we've got the 2050, the 15,000 level. We're looking to break that. From the bull side, when we're in Chop City land, it's much, much more difficult. So let's go down to the 1 hour chart here, Ty, coming into the session open. And we're basically coming to, we could call it maybe the 14.8, maybe a little bit of resistance, but somewhere in here is where you expect the sellers to have a crack at it today, don't you? And it's going to come down to core CPI.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. And it can be a bit of a trap, so be careful.
This is a news play.
Yes, it is, unfortunately. I don't really like news plays.
No, it's this week kind of sucks. I mean, I actually prefer I thought that the indices, actually, let's ask the community, private community, how have you been going recently in the indices? Has it been easier for you since you've been nimble, you've been quick, and you've been reading the Chop City correctly? Let us know, because that's going to be a big one. I think that people have done. Well, I've had a few people messaging me saying being nimble and being quick in this market has helped them out. So hopefully it has been helping out plenty of people. Guess a little bit of a base here. I think 14.8 makes sense as being a key res of the day, that we'll see the bulls and the bears fight it out should it hit. But again, news is going to be playing the part, and that's as per normal. Other things, Ty, people are celebrating Tesla, and people in the community are probably celebrating Tesla. We've been kind of bullish here on the technicals for a while for good reason. It's broken past 800. That's opened up the floodgates to the next participation zone, which could be around that 880. We discussed this before. Tesla has strong back-end seasonality come into the November period and December period. You tend to look at that November ramp. It has the crappy earnings around October, and then just ramped crazily through that November, December. And you look at previous years and you go back and you think about the November, December, November, pretty good. December comes in, it starts ramping super hard. December is insane for this stock. often. And it may look like that wasn't a big percentage, but it certainly was. What are your thoughts on the breakout here for everybody, Ty?
Yeah, it's significant. I mean, there's no question about that. And realistically, what I like about it's got a very clear target. I really do like that. I would almost say though that if you're not in it already, I would almost probably wait for a smaller time frame pullback to the 800 again. I know it's pulling back a little bit. Probably don't be seduced by that break. If it's going to go to 877, you're going to get a chance to reload. So, and that'll either be on a pullback to the 20 moving average, or a pullback to the 800 on a smaller time frame and a change of trend on the way up. So that's what I'd be waiting for if you're not already in it. But I think it's got a very clear target. I love trades that have got that very clear target. So they're the two pullback zones that we've just drawn up, either to the 20 or back to the 800 level, and get a change of trend lightning bolt on a 4-hour, say for instance, and get on board on that one.
Yeah, so strong stuff. Big trend line coming through the back as well for if the market does tank kind of eventuality. This has got that good price elasticity on it as well that we discuss all the time. That's super important. Yeah, so another one of those stocks that's doing quite well. Let's go through a few other stocks and talk about them. So we had a few greens yesterday. We had Etsy go back into hopefully looking a little bit better. That was one that broke underneath and then quickly reversed. Closure above 220 could lead to some further kind of gains here. I guess where Etsy was going towards was this, kind of just finding that trend line. So hopefully it continues to hold. That was one that we were kind of bullish on over the last couple of weeks. Another one was Take Two. So let me just bring up Take Two. Very strong kind of repair here. I popped this in the room last week just from a technical level. I love these technical breakouts after they've done basically what we call like a repair zone. It broke through a super important previous support, becomes resistance, closed above, went straight into the next resistance over here. A good couple of day trade, and that's really all it was. There is more in this one from the perspective of it's a good company, but yeah, strong movement, isn't it there, Ty, off the back of trend line?
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge move. And you've got the key moving average break now, of course. The 20 is about to cross the 50. Don't you love? And this is why we always have the same indicators on our charts, because for one, they're the most important in our minds. But now you guys, no one ever asks in here, oh, what's that 20? What's that red line? What's that green line? What's that blue line?
True.
Apart from the fact that we don't actually answer anymore, because it's like, if you should know. When it comes to analysis, we know we know the 20 is really important, right? We know the blues are fallback. We know a green can be important in a longer term view. So that's why it's so important that we don't shop and change our templates, because it makes it really, really, really easy to analyze the charts. And I'm so proud that everybody in here is getting that. The amount of mentoring that we do now, and that's another thing we have to talk about, Thomas. Mentoring and also little coaching sessions that we do, where we do a screen share and the chart is the same on the other end as it is on our end. It's not that we're the only ones that know what we're doing and we're right and you have to follow everything that we do, but it makes our job so much easier when you know exactly what we're talking about. It doesn't it, Tom? It makes it so much easier because it means that you can take a lot more information from what we're saying. Like, we're not having to explain, simple little shit things like, which moving average that is, because you guys know. So that's awesome. So I really, thank you all for taking that on board and adjusting your charts. So what you see us do is what you're seeing play out on yours. It's a big difference. It makes a big difference to us, and we do sincerely thank you for that.
So a good question about SPLK. Really haven't changed my mind on this one. I said it was more of an investment. It's a slow ass stock because it's boomer stock in terms of tech. Look, inverse head and shoulders still in play here. Obviously, the right shoulder stop didn't get hit out. If you had the more kind of aggressive one, maybe you did get hit. But it is picking up better than the market overall. And SPLK still looks very good. Nice breakout here against those rejections. Strong charts indeed. Another couple I wanted to check out. Now, check this one out, Ty. So don't need to know what this is, but what do you think about this resistance? So we've already done the first level of repair. Let's talk about this. What do you think about this? currently.
About the vaccine rollout, and they're getting ready to travel.
Yeah. Oh well, you kind of. Oh well. Ignore the name of the thing.
I know. I'm only joking.
Hey,
I'm just
don't read my watermark, damn it. You're not allowed to know what this is. But the point is, look at that resistance. Yeah. Look at the rejections currently coming off a stupid watermark.
100%. 100%.
This was
I agree.
a super chat this morning. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that breakout. This is a great base.
It's building up some momentum. Yeah, it's building up momentum, and it's trying to make a crack. And it makes logical sense too as to why. What I like about this especially is that the price is consolidating underneath the resistance and giving the moving averages a chance to build up momentum and about to cross. So not only is it finding support on the 50, but it's going to find support on the 20 very shortly. And the 20 may well cross and coincide with a break above that level, and the upside is quite substantial.
The upside indeed. I mean, first stop 39, but after that, like really substantial. I mean, you're talking upwards of 48. I'm not sure how much money this company truly burnt through. I guess I'd look at the fundamentals as well, but look at the ramp it went on coming into all this. Oh, it's all great, all glorious. And then we went to 65 and then it's come back down. TripAdvisor is no slouch. And I think with the vaccines, with people coming out, with the economies reopening again, all of a sudden these reopening plays are back in force, but they're not, people aren't moving into them again. It's like that old thing that you need to go and look for the state of repair to be where other people aren't. And you see that with Hyatt. You know, Hyatt is going into an incredible seasonal right now. What a breakout, what a trade, phenomenal pullback to the moving averages. Congrats again to the people that sent me this one. Fantastic. Good stuff, man. It's
absolutely human nature, isn't it? It's absolutely human nature that there's no question about that. And you know what? I'm just going to, before I forget, Dav G, I know for a fact that you asked us a question in the Discord room the other day, and I made a mental note to reply, and for the life of me, I could not find it. So please, the question that you posted, if Thomas didn't answer it, which he may well have missed as well, please send it in to @Ty or @Tom in Discord so we can answer it. We did not ignore it on purpose, but I could not find it for the life of me when I tried to find it. Okay, so sorry about that.
Let's do his question now. He's got Alta, which is some beauty company, and then NAS. So
that wasn't even the question. It was a question about segregated accounts, I'm sure, and I meant to answer it. I just couldn't find it, so I'm really sorry about that. Please send it through on Discord, okay? Every member is important to us in there, guys. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you can just send it. Look, if we miss it, just tag us in a private message. Just tag us. Don't send us private messages. We prefer it in the room so everyone gets to see the good answers.
So everyone can benefit.
We have been a little bit busy recently, but we're getting back into the rooms over the next week, so we'll be heavily in there. I expect next week. We got earnings. We got to be in there. ULTA. Resistance here around this 386.92 weird random candle that came out. Probably, well, that's an earnings candle. But overall, it's looking good. Resistance, closure above should trigger some buys. You can see there's a little bit of selling there, so closure is the key. And the next one was NAS. Let's do this one. Norwegian Air Shuttle. I don't know if that's what it actually is. Is it this one? Or are you talking about Nasdaq itself? Or I'm not sure which one it is. North Atlantic, smaller companies. We're going to have to skip that one because I don't know. Monica coming in at 4 a.m. Thank you very much. Monica and Biker Dude says trip earnings going to be bad. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be horrible. But remember, the market expectation
it's the
versus
expectation
the reality.
More than anything else.
Yes. David Taylor, ticker is Flocky. Okay, that's for something else. And we wanted love.
I'm glad you could make it, Monica. Actually, I actually did a quick lightning change. I went into a tight t-shirt for you. I know you appreciate my wardrobe, so I dressed especially for you. So I'm very pleased you were able to make it before the end of the screen.
Look at him. All right, show us the muscle. Come on now.
No.
Is it coming out?
No.
Oh, he was going to bring it out.
No.
Believe me, one day, if you guys want the muscle, it's ridiculous. Tyrone's pretty. I tell you this, I haven't seen many people lift was it 55 kilo dumbbells each arm?
Yes,
55 kilo each arm, ease. Not even one of those things where you go to the gym and there's some person screaming in the background lifting a 35.
And
55
yes,
each arm. My goodness.
that's kilos, Bradley, not pounds.
Kilos.
We're dealing in kilos here in Australia, mate.
That's a lot. You can look it up in pounds. Well, I'll tell you actually.
I think it's about
55 kg in pounds. Didn't you
about
go
100.
and yell at Arnold or something when you were in America last? You go show off.
No, I did meet him. I
Yeah.
I was very, very proud of that day. It was amazing.
121 pounds. There we go. So 240. Okay. Anyway, enough talking about that. Love, not bad. Pull back to the previous resistance, come into support. Do have earnings. I can't speak about the company and earnings. This is the airline company. I do hate airlines. I do hate airlines. I will say that again. But it is a technical support. You're looking here for probably a closure above this line here to really show it's ramping again. Earnings has me a bit. That's the good thing about earnings. It's bad and good. If it works out, it's great. And if it goes bad, it can ruin your technical. So
it's a dangerous game. Yeah. It is a dangerous game playing earnings.
9 days till earnings on this one.
I like to look at, if you're going to trade earnings, for me, it's better actually trading the preamble before the earnings actually come out. I find that's actually the cleanest trading, because it is a little bit of a guess and check whether it's a sell the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the fact, or you don't really know which it's going to go. It can turn into a little bit of a gamble. So I think playing the technicals prior to earnings and trading the lead up, a bit like trading into a dividend, that happens all the time in Australia, especially. That's probably the best trading. Definitely. It's really good.
Yeah. I think this is okay. It's okay. So eyes will be on for the next 24 hours, guys. Let's talk about this action coming in here to the market open. So firstly, 10-year is going to be a big one. What is this stupid line? Let's get rid of that. 10-year, can we hold this resistance, become support, and we hold this line? We hold the line, we bounce the 10-year. Obviously, that's going to put pressure on the QQQ. All of a sudden, it's going to potentially come back there as well. Tesla, continue to hopefully see that ramp. What else have we got? We've got dollar index kind of, we're looking for that to break the resistance. That'll be another sign of risk off. And we're going to have to watch specifically the fang. So let's just bring up this fang, because this is actually the chart I'm looking at the most. And that is the fang. If the fang breaks underneath this 5100, let's call it 5130, 5100, big deal. And I expect this to occur before the Nasdaq does anything serious, even the S&P. Yep. You can see it. It's coming down. And what the fang does, the rest of the market does.
Yeah. That 20-year 50 cross is imminent.
It's happened, actually.
Yeah.
See? Little cross. I mean, this is the thing. You look at these markets. I mean, yes, you snap these highs off, and damn, I mean, I cannot be bearish.
Yeah,
but exactly. If I look at this chart
anyway,
I can't see bull here. I just can't see it just yet, other than I'm optimistic on the markets.
No, you have to be, you've got to trade what you see. It's really, really important. And that's, like how many warning candles do you want at the 20 and 50?
3.
Like it couldn't break them.
I want exactly 3.
So, and again, and that's why we've got to be nimble and quick. And if it does go up and closes above those wicks, damn, different story. But until that happens, you're not going to trade it long.
So I would say to the private community, watch the fang. Watch the fang, watch the fang, watch the fang. The Apple is weakening here. 0.63, chip shortage, something like that, whinging. Then we've got the Google. The Google is also showing weakness here. The Microsoft's strength, but it's got the weird buyback on it. The Amazons, these are the stocks that will drive this earnings season. That will specifically drive also the market. Remember, the earnings are a little bit further away on these. 16 days to Amazon, 15 days to Apple. Google is 13. I don't particularly think that come the end of October, we're still going to be negative tie. I think we're going to start to really see that ramp. So we're talking about my personal opinion, a small period of time where we could see that pullback that goes further. But I don't think it's going to be sustained. Now, that's a guess. That's my personal random opinion. I'm still not going to particularly trade based on that. We trade on the price action. Yeah. But we cannot be bearish all the time in the markets, guys. You've got to be an optimist. Look at the stats. Yeah. Where are we? Look at the stats. The stats are good for bullishness. We've talked about this one before. We've talked about the fact that, yes, we expect pullbacks, but in general, the market is a bullish tool.
Yeah. And if you love stats and you love charts and you love that sort of stuff, the one thing you need to get involved in is the mentoring program, because it is based very, very heavily on a lot of those tips and tricks that you see Tom allude to here. But it's done in a structured way. And yeah, with critical acclaim of the first few that have been done, we are running very, very short on spots. I believe the November intake is the last one for the year.
That's correct. Is that right? Yeah. So after November, we won't be doing any more this year. We obviously want to put the time in for everybody, and it won't be till 2022 we open it up again. So if you are interested, jump on over to fxevolution.com, check out mentoring. Where are we? I can show you. Come to this website, guys, and then
I think there's only
7-day free trial.
There is literally about, I think, 4 spots left. So just if you do
about 4 slots.
Don't procrastinate. If you are interested and you want to get it done this year, definitely click in or at least contact one of us and let us know, because there is literally 4 spots left. Yeah, and I know people have been asking about the options course. We are down to single figures on that one too. Okay, so that is nearly done for the year. So yeah, if you've been thinking about it and you want to get yourself an early Christmas present, don't leave it too much longer, because they won't be released again in 21.
Biker Dude says, I need the 15% correction to soothe the bear in me.
15%. Wow.
Can we soothe the? What about a 12%?
What about a 10?
Yeah,
well, 10's pretty good. Man.
12 on the Nasdaq. You know, come on. Now.
Yeah, 10's all right.
Biker Dude's booty for the. He really needs the salmon. I think.
I tell you what,
he had a rough hibernation.
You know what the problem with a 15 is, Biker Dude? The problem with a 15 is it could turn into a 20 or a 25 really, really easily. Like a 10 is a standard pullback that people would almost expect that it would be healthy. A 15 is verging on the side of that's kind of really, really bad. And it may just be that it might not stop at 15 and might actually keep going. That's the only danger with that. That's why for us, the sweet spot is probably anywhere between 8 and 10. 8 and 10 is just lovely, and we're really looking for the reload zones at that point there. But if it goes past there and goes to 15% down, it starts to get just a little bit nerve-wracking because it could easily push down to 2025 like nothing from there, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. Once you get that sell-off, it's just breakdown, margin calls everywhere, self-fulfilling prophecy. The thing just sells off like a bitch, and there's not much you can do about it. So you've got to be really, really careful. So as much as 15 would be good to reload on, just be very careful if it gets down there. Careful what you wish for, I think, is probably the tip there. What do you reckon, Tom?
I think I was just reading this comment, Ty, about the Chinese market already down 20%. And what I was going to say to that is, well, firstly, we don't want markets down that much, but that market is separated from the westernized markets. Just remember, they're the same, but they're separate. We've seen boom busts in China that have been epic proportions, and they haven't really affected the rest of the world except for Australia. So
that's right. And Kerry M says that these markets he's watching and it's irritating. You're 100% correct, though. You've answered your own question, mate. Patience is key. You reckon patience is key? I can guarantee it. Absolutely, it is, mate. So just practice it, and that will be the difference in the end. Don't worry about that.
I had a mentoring question I'll answer tomorrow morning, and it's just this afternoon. And it's funny that they even admitted that they said they answered their own question at the first bit, in terms of they're just like, yes, they're writing it out as they were writing it out.
And most people actually do. The irony is that most people actually do answer their own questions, because most people know what they're doing wrong, right? Like, I mean, we can point it out to you, and we can say, all right, well, you're doing this, this, and this, and it's very clear to us why you're doing it, but half the time you actually know what you're doing wrong. I think you just probably need, us to tell you how to actually correct it. Even though, that's the problem. Like you put yourself into a place where you're making mistakes. You kind of know what you're doing wrong, but it's difficult to break out of that rut. So, and it is good, because what it tells us when people understand their own mistakes is that people are actually listening to the course, because the course actually breaks you out of those mistakes anyway. So it's really good that you can do that.
I just wanted to quickly mention, Ty, the community has spotted this a few days ago, and I agree with them wholeheartedly. The entire solar area and anything to do with renewables is booming. Like, we're talking big gains here, Enphase, Plug, a lot of others. If you're ever wondering when those things kind of happen, grab your like koi fin out and then bring in your sectors. So obviously in this case, you'll want to specifically pick certain sectors. So we'll click over here. And you might want to pick, let's say, renewables or whatever. And you'll notice that it bases on the line chart. Go and do your sector analysis. It's something we talk about a lot in the mentoring, and we're going to cover heavily there. Because when you understand these charts, you can do less work to get better opportunities. So yes, solar is going hard. XLB is another one that we might be looking at in the future, which is the materials sector. So you'll notice that that thing's trapped up. So once you know something's trapped up, do we buy in here or we sell in here? Not really. But if it does break the trap and the materials sector breaks out again from our trap, bam, then we start taking it long. That's when we want to get into that participation phase. And we watch this like a hawk, don't we, Ty? This is the real essence of successful trading in the markets. Going to your sectors, understanding stupid rotations, understanding that Wall Street does this all the time. And if you were trading XLE only a few weeks ago, the energy sector, look at the breakout, guys. Boom, 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 boom. You know, it's not rocket science. It's going and understanding the base formations, not being part of the chop city rubbish, but being part of the success. And that's really the discussion that Tyrone was having a massive rant about before with the S&P. We're in chop city, but when we break key levels, we get out of chop city and we can really make better decisions. It's boring, but that's the reality.
Yeah, 100%. Kevin, mate, it's not me. It's Thomas. He's the one who's got to get on the phone to his oil friends. He's got. I mean, I don't know many people who have got Kathy Wood on speed dial, but Thomas is one of those people. So he can make the call. He can make the call on oil. He can definitely.
She hates oil.
Well,
she told me she hates oil. She said, "Hey," she said, "I think oil's overpriced." In fact, Kathy's been very wrong on oil. I'll give her that one. Anyone else been watching a little bit of the Kathy? She's been a bit wrong on oil. She thought oil was crapped about here, Ty. But yes, the point is that people think oil is ridiculous at the barrel. It's ridiculous because of the inflation and the tax that's put on it. But realistically, oil's been a lot higher in the past. I mean, oil had its massive gains to 140 plus a barrel. We have bad memories, I feel, because it's been a lot more expensive. I mean, look over here. For years, mid-2000s, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, all above 100, well above 100 a barrel, upwards of 140 before the GFC, and we're sitting at 80. I kind of feel like it's a fair value.
Hey, don't worry about technical charts on oil. I went and filled up my Ranger today, and it was 165 or $1.65 effectively a liter. And if that's telling me anything about oil, we're probably going to 150.
Oh, come on. It's been more expensive. It's been over $2. Calm down, people. Calm down. Jesus. It annoys me when people don't realize one thing, Ty. I know you're joking with me, but when it was $2 plus in Australia only a few years ago.
Yeah, I know.
We remember this, and we always have crappy memories. But the problem is Ty has a Ford Ranger, and it just sips the fuel in. Not like an F-150 though. That's the problem with sometimes in America. You buy an F-150. Remember that driving that one? Oh, it was crazy. Whew. F-150 eats what? 20 liters of 20 liters per 100.
You know what? Actually, Brad would appreciate this, and Ozzy, I think you will too. I've actually got my eye on a proper Raptor, not the fake Raptor, Ranger Raptor that we've got here. Actually, a proper F-150 Raptor. That's where it's at in Australia. Very difficult to get hold of, boys, but that's what we're trying for. Can't wait. Thomas is going to buy it for me as a gift.
I'll buy a Tesla.
A Tesla?
Yeah. I'm won over by Tesla. I'm not won over by their customer service, though. We know people that own Teslas, Ty, and they were off the road for 6 months because, we couldn't get the part. That sucks. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end here. We've got some great stocks that are finding, some support. We talked about a few that are finding bases. We talked about some great sectors that look hot, and they're starting to really get a bit spicy. Things like Snap is another one that's been finding a base ahead of earnings. That might be something that people look into. Watch the FANG stocks. Watch the FANG stocks. Well, not Netflix, but the rest of them. That's going to be the story of the next couple of sessions. And we'll find out what happens very soon with this core CPI data economic FOMC meeting minutes with the tapering, PPI, and then core retail sales into the back end of the week. This will be the week of news, and it will no doubt try to break this hideous range. I'm pretty sure we'll break it this week either way.
I think it's a good chance. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate every one of you. And I know for all the people who are getting up early, I know daylight savings is throwing everything out. So we really, really appreciate your continued support. Please follow us in Discord. Again, if you've got a question specific to myself or Thomas, be sure to tag us, please, because otherwise we can miss it because there's a lot of comments in there. Q&A for all the members will be out tomorrow night. And of course, Friday wrap. So we'll see you all in the Discord room. Thanks again. And we will see you very, very shortly.
F650 tire, is that something that like eats so much fuel that's like 40 liters? we cannot afford these kind of cars in Australia, guys. You you pay by the gallon, we pay by the liter.
An F650, I reckon. I think that my Ranger would actually fit on the back of an F650. I reckon that's a serious truck, man. It's a truck. That ain't no pickup.
F650. How big a boat could I tow with an F650?
The boat will be on the F650. Like
does it take off?
Yeah.
Anyway, all good, guys. So great to be here. Thanks for being part of the private community. And obviously, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. We post a whole bunch of obviously unlisted content throughout the week, Monday to Friday. Make sure you join. If you want to get part of the 7-day free trial, fxevolution.com. And 4 spots left on the mentoring. We'll see you tomorrow for the close for us. Obviously, the close of the session in the US. I'm super excited for this one, and hopefully we get some direction. I wouldn't mind a little bit of bear, but we'll see what happens. Bye for now.
Awesome, guys. See ya.